Coming up on Up at Noon, we are joined by Jason Mewes of Jay and Silent Bob fame. The Division is Ubisoft's fastest-selling game yet, and Spider-Man has joined the melee in Civil War. All that and more right now on Up at Noon. Hey, everybody.
What a strange noise to start with.
We're back once again.
Wow, it's very dark in here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Up at Noon. Are all our lights on?
It's the middle of the night.
Oh,
thanks for joining. We're in
rolling brownouts to save money.
We're in Ireland right now, and I have no idea what time it is there. We're in Australia. We can be anywhere you want to be.
There either. Anyway, hi, welcome to.
There it is! Oh, baby, I love your ways.
It's a live show, which is our excuse for a lot of things that go wrong. This is, of course, the world's #1 Evangelion video podcast.
That's right.
Today we're talking about who is more lovable, this woman in the bathrobe, Rei Ayanami, or the terrifying Mr. Robot, Evangelion 1.
For the next 7 days, we'll be pushing these figures closer and closer together until they kiss. Thanks for tuning in.
Not really. Anyway, welcome to Up at Noon. This is a very stupid show that we do every week. You can watch it live when we do it at noon on Thursdays Pacific time, which we figured was the best time slot so that no one could see what we do. We are streaming on IGN.com, on PS4, on Xbox One apps, on Roku, Twitch, YouTube, and Apple TV.
Yep.
And of course, we chop up our show and sprinkle it out in little snippets. So if you like a particular part of it, share it with your friends. And if you're watching this live, miraculously, at noon on Thursday Pacific time, shoot us your questions using the hashtag #UpAtNoon on Twitter. Brian checks that out. We actually have a few people saying nice things on there right now, I think.
Yeah, William Holbert, who's our #1 fan, just says that your dad is awesome. I'm not sure which one of us, but both of our fathers are awesome. You know why? Because they made us, and they didn't immediately hide in a jail cell forever.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Anyway, we'd like to thank our sponsor for sponsoring our show. The power outages we had earlier had nothing to do with them. That was our producer Zach's fault because he kept stepping on the wires because he thought it was funny. We are powered by Truth, who wants to prevent
There he is. Look at that handsome man.
So Truth is an organization that wants to remind you the truth of the fact that cigarettes will kill you, but they've uncovered some new research that is they will also kill your pets. Mm-hmm. This isn't really like I don't really have a lot of like qualms about this sponsor because it's pretty straightforward. Cigarettes are bad for you.
Yep.
And they're also bad for your pets. So I mean, it's one thing if you're going to be a selfish jerk and harm yourself, but if you're harming your pets, that makes you an even worse person.
Yeah, it's gross.
So quit it.
Okay? I don't want to tell you what to do, but this May will be my 4-year anniversary of not smoking a single cigarette. I hate those things. They're nasty. Again, not telling you what to do, but still, they're gross. And thank you to people like Truth for spreading the word that you're killing yourself and your aminals.
Yeah, be nice to your pets, jerks. All right, so
speaking of animals,
a great movie that's coming out real soon that's about a whole bunch of people dressed up as animals who go out in a big yard and punch each other is called Marvel Captain America #3, Return of the Civil War.
Can we name all the animals that are going to be in this movie? I think we can do it. Let's start with the big one.
The cat.
There's a cat.
The big cat.
There's a spider.
There's an ant.
There's a hawk.
There's a hawk. There's a falcon.
Is there a vulture? A falcon.
There's a falcon.
There's a falcon. That's 5.
There's
a captain?
A captain.
Not an animal.
Not an animal. Close.
No.
In any case, we got our second trailer for Civil War this morning. Real nice thing to wake up to. And of course, we sort of heard rumors about this, but we got our first look at Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this is the trailer. One thing I want to point out is that I feel like we're getting kind of the same treatment we got with The Force Awakens for this one, in that we're getting like cool trailers that get us pumped, but I don't think we've seen anything.
Yeah.
Like we haven't heard Black Panther say anything. We've gotten one single shot.
We forgot Panthers.
Of Spidey. I said cat.
You did say
That's
cats.
the first one I said. But like we're getting just kind of these generic clips of just stuff happening and people talking. But like I think that there's going to be some cool stuff that like we don't see. You know. So I'm looking forward to this a bunch. We do have a clip of or an image right here of Spider-Man. If we want to just cut to that. Here's what he looks like. We could sit here and watch that whole thing, but
it's us two men.
Yeah.
There he is.
Here he is.
One cool thing I really loved was they animated his eyes, kind of like they did for Deadpool.
Yep.
And you and I actually, on this very show, a couple weeks ago, were talking about that, how when we see Spider-Man eventually, I'd love if they did that. I really like this costume. One thing I've noticed, which is just prevalent on everyone on the internet, is that it's obviously impossible to please everybody. We've been asking for Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a long time. We finally got it, and a lot of people aren't very happy with it, but I don't really care, because he looks fantastic. He's goofy, he's lighthearted, he's sort of naive. He's exactly what these movies need, because these movies are very kind of like cold and heroic.
Yeah.
There's lightheartedness
like up
here
until
and there,
now,
right?
like Iron Man's been the smartass.
Yeah.
And he's been the comic relief, but this is one about him getting serious and fighting people. So I think it's really important that we have Spidey showing up and being like, why are the adults fighting? I'm 17.
If you look at Age of Ultron, it's a very, very serious, very long movie. That's people really like that one scene when they're all getting drunk and they go to lift up Thor's hammer and they can't, because that's like the calm before the
levity.
storm, right?
Honestly, I thought Ultron was probably the funniest part of that movie.
Yeah.
Because I kept imagining it was just, what's his face in Secretary? He's just like, why don't you just bend over that desk there? I'm Ultron.
Yeah, it was really weird that they got all those people to fight that internet virus in
Yeah.
that movie. That's basically what it was about.
Anyway, we actually have an exclusive, an Up and In exclusive, world exclusive. It's leaked set footage from the new Spider-Man movie that they're shooting with it. It's got Spider-Man in it. Let's take a look.
Komm ich halt die Klappe! Los, kämpfen wir!
Ow! When are we gonna get to see that film in theaters?
I think that's like the hardest part of cosplay is not even the costume. It's getting there and then interacting with somebody who's supposed to be your nemesis, and like you can't actually beat them up or anything. You just have to roll a ball back and forth.
Yeah. For the record, that's a clip that we sort of accidentally filmed at Gamescom last year. Like where our IGN camera crew was like out getting cosplay footage, and they were like, oh, that Spider-Man costume is great, and then the Goblin just showed up and ruined it. And I still think that's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. So I'm sorry for repeatedly showing it. I just really like it.
It is really odd to send an entire team of highly talented writers and video producers and hosts to a faraway country that takes 12 hours to get to on a plane and come back and be like, the best thing we shot was those two men in spandex rolling a ball back and forth.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to do something pretty cool the other day.
Yeah.
We got to hang out with Jason Mewes. Jay from Jay and Silent Bob from the View Askew-niverse, as it were. You've interviewed him before. He's actually been on the show.
He's been on the show before. He was on Up at Noon a few years ago.
Before my time.
He's like just one of my favorite people to work with because he's like, I mean, he shot a movie about terrorizing a mall in New Jersey, which is basically what I did in high school. I know terrorizing has a lot of bad connotations to it. Making a mess at a mall in New Jersey. I used to go to malls in New Jersey and just get in trouble all the time. So it was really cool working with him. Obviously, we grew up watching stuff like Clerks and Mallrats, Chasing Amy. And he's just always been so great. And he's a huge IGN fan and a huge video game fan. So it was really cool having him here. Now, there's more than just one big comic book movie coming out. We also decided to talk about Batman vs. Superman. And who better to do that with than Blunt Man from Blunt Man and Chronic.
Yeah.
So let's take a look.
Hey, what's up? I'm Brian Altano. I'm with Max Scoville from Up at Noon. But more importantly than either of us, Jason Mewes in the house, in the building. You're working on a video game right now.
I wish I was actually working on it. I wish I knew how to use one of those Cintiqs and draw things and make walls and buildings and
That's all
maps.
it takes.
Yeah, there's a lot involved. But yes, I'm very excited that there's gonna be a Jay and Bob.
you're gonna be in a game.
In a game, and I'll get to play a game. Yes, and I get to put a little bit of input into it. But I'm excited about it. So
now, this is obviously something that came from one of your passions, which I think a lot of people understand that you've always kind of been on the fringe when it comes to music and pop culture and stuff like that. But video games have kind of been there for you for a lot of your life, right?
I really got into games and was able to get my own was Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth on PC by EA. It was, I sat and started, that's when I really started, like I didn't leave the house. I wasn't dating anyone at the time. I lived with my buddy and we'd sit and we'd wake up at 9, 10 and him and I would jump in and we'd play online and we literally order pizza and play for a week straight and not leave the house.
Did you win the Battle for Middle-earth?
We were pretty good. Well, he was really good, and I was okay. So we were, they would rank you and stuff. And I remember he was ranked like, you know, like number 28, which is out of 100,000 people.
pretty good.
So that's when I really feel like I was dove into video games, where it was like I played all day and night, and then. But yes, I've been playing for a while, and I dig me some video games. It's harder to play video game consoling now with my Xbox and my PS4 because I have a baby. She's 11 months, and my wife, who also is like, you're just wasting time in there playing video games. You should be, you know, building a new awning on our house that just fell apart.
They have a cool game about building awnings that just came out. It's Awning Simulator 2016.
If only I could do that, because then I could be like, I am building the awning.
They got a gazebo expansion that's coming out. It's going to be hot.
I think it's probably good for people watching or listening at home to understand that, like, one of the hardest things in the world to do when you get older is play video games, or at least justify it. So I think probably people think that you wake up whenever you want and play video games all day, just hang out. No, you're a husband, right? And you're a father. You're busy.
And your daughter will get older though, and there will be a point where you guys can play games together.
That'll be awesome. Again, even the toys now. Like, I keep ordering stuff on Amazon. It's funny because my lady's like, "What is this? I don't want anything electronic with batteries and stuff." But I'm like, "Oh, I used to have one of those games where you pull this side and it spins around, and it's like, boop, 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 and it's like 8, you know, stupid little games." But I wanted it for her because I had it when I was younger.
So you're doing that thing then, because Max and I absolutely have that disease where we think of things we had when we were kids, and we go on Amazon and eBay, and on our phones push buttons, and then 3 days later they disappear.
Yes.
And
One day, man.
And we have them
Isn't that
delivered.
weird?
One day delivery.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
crazy.
We have them delivered to work, so our significant others don't know about it.
they have no idea.
Yeah.
If I only had that.
It's
See,
really-
I don't
it's-
have a word.
Send
It's
your stuff
on
here. I'll hide it under my desk.
Yeah.
until the
Please,
next time you come
you
back.
know what I've learned, and I probably shouldn't say. The only thing I am able to do once in a while is like I wanted to. I guess I shouldn't say this, but I wanted the. Yeah, I wanted the new iPhones. I had the new iPhone 6, and then the S came out, and I wanted it. And she's like, "Don't buy that. It's a waste of money. You just got the 6 like 4 months ago or 6 months ago, whatever." So I gave my buddy cash, and then he put it on his credit card, and then he bought. Then I took it, and I was like, "Oh, look what he bought me for helping out, my buddy." So anyway, luckily there's some really awesome games on the iPad, and I play a lot of Injustice on my iPad, and I love it. They just came out with the Dawn of Justice characters, and it's awesome. There's lots of challenges and gears and
So I got to ask you
survivor
this.
mode.
I have a feeling I know where this is going to go, because one of these characters was something your characters were based on at some point. Batman vs Superman is coming out. Batman or Superman? Who do you got?
Ooh, who's gonna win in a fight?
Yeah.
I say Batman could do it. Batman's got a little hidden piece of kryptonite, man. He shoves it right in Superman's bunghole, and it's over, baby.
Zack Snyder is taking the franchise in a bold new direction.
Yes.
By putting stuff in Superman's butt.
Yes.
If the end of Man of Steel scared you, well,
I'm not going to lie to you. If I was walking into the theater and they said there's 2 versions of this movie, one is the one we made, and one costs $100 more, and it ends with Batman shoving kryptonite up Superman's asshole, I'd give the $100.
I would pay $100 to see that film.
I'd call all my friends and be like, "This is the one."
and then for $100 more, there is another version where Wonder Woman's sitting there and she's like watching Batman putting kryptonite in Superman's bunghole.
Would she do that like
$200
the
special edition.
Yeah, yeah, she would,
That's like
tweak it. I don't know. I didn't
It's like
know
a
if I
noise a
could say it.
peacock makes.
That's what Wonder Woman makes, dude. She's from the Amazonian world and stuff. Lots of peacocks,
Of course.
parrots, you know.
Yeah. She's raised by birds on an island.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Batman vs Superman vs Wonder Woman, the Bird Woman, and Kryptonite in Superman's butthole will be in theaters this summer.
Yes.
Yes, for $200. And Jay, your game will be finished in 2018.
Yes.
What's it called?
Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch.
See, it's so much cooler when you say it. Jay, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Max,
Thank you.
thanks for doing your job at work.
You're good, bro.
I made an effort. I showed up.
I want to hang out with Max. I could tell just from this small conversation, Max, someone I would want to hang out with.
He's a good dude. He's
Yeah.
a really good dude.
I
I
bet
spend
he's
a lot
got-
of time with this man.
I feel like he probably has a big wiener too.
Oh
for
yeah,
some reason.
it's weird because
Can we say that here?
he actually has a really short left leg, but he has a huge so he just puts a shoe on it.
Yeah, we film my legs like they film Lord of the Rings. Like this one's actually real small, but it's on a weird bench.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for watching. Stop doing that.
Oh, Shinji, I love you in your big robot suit.
Stop doing that. Stop. What are you?
Welcome back to Up at Noon, the show.
Hey, sorry you caught us doing a show.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a fun interview to do. That was definitely like, this is weird, you know?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time goofing around and hanging out in front of convenience stores, so like, that was just surreal.
I know, you and I literally spent like 20 minutes goofing around in front of a convenience store for at Star Wars Celebration last year.
Yeah.
We were
Talking
in
about
Anaheim.
talking about boobs and poop.
Yeah, and we were just
This is
drinking Slurpees outside of a 7-Eleven, like, yeah, boobs, poops.
Yep. Anyway, so this is an adult show for grown-ups, or who cares? The Division came out this week, the long-awaited kind of Tom Clancy Ubisoft shared world shooter, and it was announced that it is their fastest-selling game ever. Yves Guillemot gave a comment saying that it sold more copies in 24 hours than in any other game than in the company's history. Didn't actually give a number, but that's a pretty good hype number. Just
Yeah,
like,
this is
the number one.
It's actually one of the biggest launches for an original IP in video game history. It's in the top 5 at least. And Assassin's Creed's actually in the top 5 as well. So yeah, this is pretty good news, you know, for the industry in general. Some people aren't crazy about this game. I think there are a lot of Destiny fans and stuff like that, but I'm having a good time with it. I think it's because I love New York.
Yeah.
And I love New York in the winter when I can just be far removed from it enough to not be freezing
Now hold
cold.
on, I want to back this up a little bit. I think it's interesting. The best-selling factor is really. I feel like we heard the same thing about Watch Dogs and about Destiny as well. Like they're all kind of neck and neck.
Well, they're both in the top 5.
Right. And in terms of like, new franchises, brand new stuff, and kind of fast selling, not so much best selling, but like fastest selling. How much of that has to do with like pre-orders and with digital distribution?
Well, so that's a big part of it now is that NPD, which charts all of the sales across basically every store in North America, isn't entirely reliable. It's sort of like voting booths.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't actually chart digital sales, which have become a bigger and bigger part of the industry and purchasing habits in general. I know me specifically got this game digitally because it was just why, why pop in a disc?
Yeah.
But a lot of collectors want to hold on to something like this forever. It's weird for a game like this because I know that in 10 years this game won't work on a disc anyway.
No, of course not.
It just won't.
It's also like, I mean, how much of this is just a testament to how many people are playing games?
Yeah.
Or the fact that like they have this data so quickly because of the internet. It's like 10 years ago, I feel like you wouldn't have a reliable enough system to be like, hey, this is the fastest selling thing because somebody would have to show up to GameStop and do a stock check or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's also just like a total like everyone's a winner kind of statement to make.
Yep.
Especially without giving hard sales figures. Any case, Destiny or not Destiny, Division. We've both been playing that. You like it?
I do. Yeah. I like it a lot more than I thought I would, and I think it's because some of the parts actually just sort of brought itself into one kind of great souffle for me. Like I love post-apocalyptic stuff, I love New York, I love third-person shooters, and I love RPGs. But taking parts of those things and pushing them all together by all means didn't mean it was going to be a good thing I'd be into, but it clicked, and I like it. I don't know if I'm going to put like. This is where I am right now. I don't know if I'm going to be like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours into it. But I know I'll put in 10 or 15. I just don't know where. Like it's really how far along that rope you want to pull on.
So I jumped into the beta and I was completely underwhelmed, and it felt small, it felt boring, it felt repetitive. And then I jumped into the full game and it had much more of kind of like a baby steps, like actually kind of introducing you to the world type of thing. And I'm still like I'm not crazy about the story, but the amount of exploration and just kind of like. The size of the world, first of all, is massive, and the fact that you can just go wandering off and looking for stuff, and maybe getting killed by random dudes or whatever, but just kind of exploring. That's everything I wanted from Destiny. And these are obviously they're very similar games in that they are shared world shooters. They're kind of these hybrids. They're incorporating shooter elements and RPG elements. The difference is like I'm way more attracted to like speeder bikes and space wizards and jetpacks and stuff than I am to like. REI backpacks and M4s, which is kind of the aesthetic this one is going for.
It's actually been almost impossible to talk about the Division without talking about Destiny in some capacity. And Jose Otero, who runs our Nintendo coverage here, an editor here at IGN, he tweeted a picture the other day of Destiny the night the Division came out. And he was like, where's all the Destiny players?
Yeah.
It was just kind of an empty world. And I think a lot of people jump ship. It remains to be seen how many will stay here and how many will come back. longevity is a major focus point in games like this, right? You need reasons to keep coming back. And Destiny's done a really good job of sort of giving people updates and giving people sort of the carrot before the horse to keep bringing them back. Do horses really love carrots that much? I guess
I think they like sugar cubes and oats.
they do, but that's a harder sentence to say.
Sure.
You know, we don't put the sugar cube before the horse.
Don't put out those oats all over the place, or the horse is going to come out.
Yeah.
But in
So-
any case, yeah, like I'm really into the Division, and I'm kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting it, but like I climbed like a weird ladder and went in this hallway and went through some guy's apartment and then found like a hat. And
Yeah.
I felt real excited about that. Like it's not exciting to be like in an apartment and finding a hat, because I mean I could go to a friend's house and do that.
Yeah.
Like but at the same time, like when I was playing Destiny and I'd go like hiking around and going through some cave and I'd open a box and they're like, here's some white squares. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
That's not interesting.
I think the setting is a big deal too, which is weird because you and I are both like really huge sci-fi Star Wars fans and stuff like that. And by all means, the Destiny should have grabbed us more than it did. I mean, there's speeder bikes in that game.
Yeah.
Like our desk is literally covered in Star Wars toys right now. I don't know why it didn't hook me the same way that the Division has early on. But like I said, I mean, this is a long game here,
Yeah.
right? This is going to be just something you're going to have to watch over the next 6 months to a year to see what people are still doing. One of the things that I think the Division has that could be sort of an issue in the future is that it picked its location. And now it could give you the other boroughs to start in. You do start in Brooklyn in the game. You could get Queens and Long Island and stuff like that if you want to go fight people like Colin Moriarty. Shout out to him and literally the only good person I've ever met from Long Island.
Oh.
And hey, whatever. I lived in Manhattan. I can say that. But I think it's going to remain to be seen for that. Now, another thing I've been thinking about is that the sort of time period or time of year is going to play a big factor here. Destiny is sort of it's not super seasonal really, but for the Division, you can't just jump into summer with all your gear and walk around New York City. It's 107 degrees. You need like some shorts.
I hope they make like a fun summer heat wave expansion where
That could be
everyone's just
cool.
in shorts and they got like water balloons and stuff.
that like sort of Die Hard with a Vengeance setting.
that's pretty dumb.
So I think you're going to need some bulletproof
Yeah.
cargo shorts and some tank tops.
tactical jorts.
Tactical tank tops.
Anyway, another shooter that everyone in the world loves is Call of Duty.
Yes.
And one person who played that with us was Jason Mewes while he was over. So let's take a look.
Hey everybody, I'm Max Scoville, that's Brian Altano,
What's
and
up?
this is Jason Mewes.
Hello.
We're here playing Black Ops 3. That's a Call of Duty game where you get guns and you can shoot them at some people on the internet. Jay, you play a lot of this, right?
I like to play some Call of Duty for sure. Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, slide, jump, run up walls, do things.
You've named all the
things.
four tenets of Call of Duty, which is slide, jump, run up things, and do things.
Yes, do it.
We are going to give you 4 minutes and 20 seconds to put your many
Okay.
skills to the test.
Starting
now.
All right.
Look at these. I love how you can have this Rip Van Winkle effect where if you skip 2 Call of Duties and you come back into them and you're like,
Ooh.
what's happening here?
Oh, yeah.
That was a rough way for that woman
Well, they're
to die.
sliding.
It's face first into the wall. We
Yeah.
got sliding down. Now this is a rich man's house we're wrecking.
How much fun would this be in real life? Just like running around with just
Ooh,
real
smoke. They
real
got
explosive stuff and
As long as it wasn't explosive diarrhea, right?
I agree.
Oh,
I kind of want that Call of Duty game now. Activision, pay attention.
I think that they could use some diarrhea in their games.
Yeah, I want a game where you just shoot stuff out of your butt at bad guys. Jay, you've got a classic move going there, which is the lean.
oh yeah.
The lean in real life
yeah.
away from the...
You got the 1,000-yard stare there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So what's your favorite thing about Call of Duty besides just killing people?
Just the quickness of how playing, jumping in the game, and just making it happen. Again,
Making enemies.
The Advanced Warfare is more of my game. I'm getting a little used to this new bit of business here. the
It's
Black
cool. We
Ops
still got 3 minutes to see how many people you can murder. So you said you wanted diarrhea.
Oh,
That looks like some flaming diarrhea
you
there.
see that? I just got ran over by something that.
What other kind of weapons do you think would work well in Call of Duty, Jay? Oh man, she was just like hopping.
Yes.
They all died in the same circle.
They are smoking us.
It's fine.
I would say some lightsabers.
That's a good answer.
Oh!
That guy just disintegrated. That was horrible.
Where's B here? Look at him hiding over there. Oh, what is that?
They shot you. Oh, was that it?
Look at that thing. It just went boom.
You got
I got ran over by a steel ball. Someone's
effed up
balls
beach ball.
ran me
Balls
over.
of steel.
I got smacked by
Does this
some
guy have
balls.
Terminators in his
I
house?
got smacked by balls of steel.
Oh yeah, what's up? All right,
There we go. There we go. Now we got the rhythm going.
let's see if I can get B. I don't know if I'll get it. Oh,
Oh,
so close.
Look at that
like-
beautiful foliage.
got baked on a big pizza there.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
You're surprisingly calm. A lot of people play this game. They get really angry. They start yelling bad words and say horrible stuff to each other. Are you like a peaceful Call of Duty player, Jay?
For the most part. For the most part.
You
I
never fly off the handle.
Well, sometimes I'm like, come on, to myself, but never throw things. I know people throw controllers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm too. No, I wouldn't say I'm too smart because I don't think it's a smart thing. But I don't want to break my stuff.
Because then you got to go buy another one.
Yeah, I don't want to go buy a new
That's
controller.
a pain in the ass.
No way. Not to mention I want to be allowed. So I mention that quite often. My wife actually is fantastic, but she, she's way smarter and I don't know the word.
not Call of Duty playing.
Yeah, not a toy person or
Mhm.
video game or technology. She don't think I need an iPad Mini, an iPad Pro that's 12.9 inches with the 4 speakers.
Why? It's nice. You can use a little pen with it and everything.
Dude, I love it. I got it. But don't tell her that I told you I got it, because you know what I did with that one? Is I said I traded it, but really my friend bought it on a sneak. And gave it to me.
You
Don't
keep
tell
telling
her.
us secrets on videos that thousands of people will
20
see.
seconds left.
Yeah, but I'm lying. I really did trade it from. I traded it actually for a PC laptop for my iPad Pro, because I already had a couple of these and a couple of those.
Oh, you shot him. in the
But I
jump.
love the
5,
iPad Pro.
4,
No!
3, 2. All right, you survived. You can keep going.
Ah! Oh, I just thought I got that. Oh, look at that. Where'd he go? There we go. Oh, load up, load up.
Do you ever jump on the mic when you're playing? Just
No, but I want to, because you know what? I don't do that because that does frustrate me usually, because it's usually like little kids like, yo, man, I just got you, sucker.
I mean, but you know how to talk some trash.
Oh, I was going to get ready to let's get mama.
Is that how you say that?
That's how you
Yes.
say it.
Yeah, he did spell Raven wrong. I'll give him that.
What did I get? Look at I'm in last place, 5 and 16. But you know what? I haven't played this game. I played Call of Duty recently. I haven't played the Black Ops in a while. Again, I've been jumping on Advanced Warfare, where I'm quite good at that.
That's
one.
all right.
Whatever,
I don't
man. You
think
did
any
it
of
on
these
our
people have
account
been in
anyway.
Kevin Smith movies. So
No, you never know though. Wait,
what happened?
that's Randall. No, I'm just kidding.
Look at all these weird candy people.
This is the thing I don't get still. I still haven't played enough to understand, like, you come in. Well, I get that these are the top 3, but I mean, look at that one dude. He has 33 kills, 13 deaths. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
But look,
good,
I mean,
yeah.
your name wasn't on there. It said IGN, so we're no one's gonna call you out.
Yeah.
No,
It's like it never happened.
No one will be like, you don't know how to play.
Well, Jay, thanks for stopping by.
no, I want to play more, bro.
You want to play
No,
more?
I'm just kidding. I guess I can. I'm not allowed to. I did.
Oh,
I mean, I'd like to, honestly.
We'll have you
because
back
it's been a
sometime.
while. Please do.
thank you
Yes.
so much for joining
Let's
us.
do like a.
Jay, thanks for coming,
maybe
man.
when they have the new DLC pack, I can come and we can do like a DLC 24 marathon type thing.
24 hours of DLC.
Maybe
with
we
Jason
don't
Mewes.
do 24. I mean,
24
I don't know if
minutes.
You guys are open that
like
late.
20 minutes, maybe?
No.
No? I don't know.
We gotta do at least 2 hours.
Yeah, let's
so.
do 2 hours.
Come on by, have a Let's Play.
Yeah,
That'd be
come
fun.
back
There you
soon.
heard it here first, man. If there's a new DLC and you don't see me here invited to play, then we have 2 liars.
Don't put this on us.
Hey, man, I'm here.
And we're back. Those were jazz hands for those of you on YouTube who don't believe that we're live.
Yeah.
That last bit was not live because we recorded it, but we are live right now.
Yeah, see those words behind us? Look at the 4th one.
Unless you're watching this recorded and then it's not live.
That's true. If you're watching this a few days after it's live, it's not live anymore.
Yes.
But right now, it's totally live.
Yeah. So
You know how you
anyway.
can tell it's live? Because we just got a rumor this morning that I really, really, really hope comes true.
Yep.
And that Daisy Ridley might be up for the Tomb Raider movie reboot. Now, there were 2 Tomb Raider movies. Neither were great.
Nope.
Both starred Angelina Jolie.
Still, possibly the first one is like easily top 5 best video game movies.
Yeah.
Just not saying anything.
Yeah.
But
It's not the greatest list to be
that's
part
like
of.
best food to eat off the floor.
Yeah. So I think this is
Cookie's pretty good for that. But
this would be perfect casting.
the floor's wet.
As somebody who's really, really big on the last 2 Tomb Raider games, the reboot, Daisy Ridley would be perfect for this. I think that since her character's going to die 4 minutes into Star Wars Episode 8, she'll have plenty of free time. Oh, spoilers! I'm so sorry. No, that's not true. No, she's great for this role. This is somebody you
yeah,
want.
I mean, Force Awakens basically opens with her raiding a tomb.
Yeah.
For all intents and
Oh
purposes.
yeah, completely.
Yeah.
She's like spelunking down.
Yeah,
she's
here,
finding
look
some
at this
garbage.
image right here. Look at this. Oh yeah, they're both white ladies with British accents and dirt on them. Perfect.
Nailed
Sold.
it. That's
Ship
all it takes.
We're good.
That's all it takes.
So actually, I saw some. I hate the internet like a lot. Like it's really just it's kind of something. Sometimes it's just like a toilet full of fire.
Yeah.
And this morning I went
Actually,
on,
no, it's not because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I'd buy like a trading card of that or something.
Yep.
But I went on Facebook and it was like, what are people talking about? And I was trying to find information about maybe Daisy Ridley's going to play Tomb Raider. That's cool. And then I found this whole I can't say the S word, but a whole S storm of people who were mad that Daisy Ridley is too skinny in The Force Awakens. I guess she put up a photo where she's like, "Hey, I'm a lady, and everyone should be happy about how they look." And everyone's like, "Yeah, you're a skinny white lady. You're too skinny in that movie." And I'm just like, that movie literally centers around the fact that she has to collect trash to sell it to buy inflatable bread.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes of that movie are the most beautifully shot film about food stamps.
Yes. No, I will agree that yeah, she's not like necessarily super progressive casting. She's still like a skinny, pretty white lady.
Yeah.
But if you're like gonna be like, yeah, she's too skinny, like they do kind of explain it. She has to go to Unkar Plot and trade droid parts for portions of that weird bread. Okay? I wrote it in there.
I would kill, just actually murder, for there to be a Facebook thread about a bunch of people saying, Brian's too skinny for that role.
What if in episode 8
Someday.
she just gets hella fat?
Yeah.
She's like on an island with Luke training her, and he's like, "No, come on, Rey, you got to have some more of this soup. Master Yoda used to make it all the time. It's made out of snakes and moss. You're gonna love it. It's Jedi soup." And
You think
she's
that'll
like,
get you fat?
It's so bad. And he's like, "There's also lard in there."
Yeah.
She's just like eating butter.
Like Luke's temple is just made of Twinkies.
Yeah. Come on to Snack Island for your Jedi trials.
God,
you have
I
to
would
eat
love that.
all of the sandwiches in this cave.
I would love that.
That'd be really weird.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I saw is that people were saying, and this is just a horrible conversation, but people were saying that her mammaries aren't the right size to play the role of Tomb Raider. That's ridiculous. Nobody cares. It's not 1994 anymore, okay? Like,
Yeah, what if they did it super realistically and they just made her look as humanly possible like the original PlayStation graphics?
Yeah.
So they like gave her like big rhombus.
Dude, I would
rhombuses.
love that. If they were like, hey, you have to wear Madonna traffic cone triangles
They
inside
put like
your
avatar
bra.
dots all over her face, and she's just there like she's like, "Hello everyone, it's me, Lara Croft." And
What
everyone's
if-
like,
what
"Dear
if-
Lord, I don't want to look at it."
What if her mouth didn't move and she
Lara
just showed up
Croft?
places? She's like,
Lara Croft in the Uncanny Valley. She has to explore it. All right. Anyway, moving on. Talking about perspective casting is always fun.
Yeah.
I love paying attention to movies that could have happened. And most recently, we got an interview from Frank Miller. He's been talking a lot about Dark Knight. There's like a new Dark Knight 3 going on in DC Comics right now, and of course, Batman v Superman is based very heavily on Dark Knight Returns, his famous comic. However, he was at one point attached to a precursor to Batman Begins. It was going to be Batman Year One. WB hired Frank Miller and Darren Aronofsky, who made like The Wrestler, Black Swan, The Fountain, Requiem for a Dream, Pi, a bunch of really intense, dark movies.
Yes.
He was working on a Batman movie. And not a lot is known about this.
No.
Like, I don't know if there are scripts floating around for it. I've never seen any.
no, you can kind of file this next to that weird Nicolas Cage, Tim Burton Superman movie that was supposed to happen.
But
at some
this
point.
one
Yeah.
sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
In any case, Frank Miller did an interview with, I think, with a Hollywood Reporter, and he had this great soundbite here. I pull it up here. He says, it didn't have the toys. The Batmobile was just a tricked out car, and Batman turned his back on his fortune to live a street life so he could know what people were going through. He built his own Batcave in an abandoned part of the subway, and he created Batman out of whole cloth to fight crime and a corrupt police force.
So wait, that's the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, they're guys that they're like homeless animal people that live in the sewer and built their car out of stuff they had.
That's also sort of the premise of what is it, like Super, like the James Gunn movie?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I kind of love that because that sort of would kind of ruin Batman. Or apparently Miller and Aronofsky had like difference of opinions because like Miller, who's like, he makes a pretty intense Batman, but he's like, Batman would never torture people, and Aronofsky's like, yeah, he would. He's got a bat car battery.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Hancock. Actually,
yeah.
Which is like sort of similar premise, although Batman doesn't actually have superpowers. But yeah, this would have been really cool. Like, I'm kind of like, I think that like that's one of the reasons that I have a tough time with with Batman as a character, because like as much as you want to identify with this guy who's tortured and twisted and wants to help people, he at the end of the day sleeps in like a $75,000 Tempur-Pedic bed and has a butler.
Yeah, it's like sorry, your people don't like you enough. You should probably go sleep with supermodels and buy hotels. And it's like, oh, okay, fine.
And at night he's like, oh, I gotta wake up and fight a clown.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, Darren Aronofsky is like, he's an amazing director, and unfortunately he's been attached to some really cool projects, all of which sort of have an arm towards Frank Miller's work.
Yeah.
He was at one point working on the RoboCop reboot, which Aronofsky's RoboCop would be just insane.
Which instead we got that kind of...
let's move on.
Yeah. Well,
and then, of course, he was attached to the Wolverine, the second Wolverine Origins movie, which was going to be sort of a hard reboot. He was going to be shooting in Japan when that happened, but then Fukushima happened and he backed out. But like Aronofsky, I want him to do a superhero movie of some sort at some point, because I think it would be so fascinating.
Yeah, I totally agree.
On that note, talking about superhero movie casting, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is still a little ways off, but we're getting more and more little kind of snippets of people who are sort of attached to it. Word on the street is Kurt Russell is going to be playing Peter Quill's dad.
Yes.
And then there's some rumors that Howard the Duck is going to show up again.
Yeah, instead of just that in that post-credit scene.
Yeah, and then weirdest of all, Sylvester Stallone has been sighted near the set. And there's
holding
sort of
a script.
There's sort of a rumor that he may be donning a familiar-looking costume, and I think everyone's sort of alluding to this being Judge Dredd, which is of course not a Marvel character.
No.
But take a look at this. It wouldn't be too much of a stretch to make a Nova Corps member who looks exactly like Judge Dredd and have him played by Stallone.
Are they doing Space Expendables? Is that what's going down? I mean, this sounds really awesome.
I think they're doing a Tango and Cash reunion in space in the Marvel Universe with Howard the Duck on the side, which I'm pretty okay with.
I'm very okay with.
But like,
I really love that sort of 80s mixtape aesthetic that the first movie has.
They're leaning into it so hard, calling it Volume 2. Like, I think that Marvel was kind of taking a chance with Guardians, the first one, and it was beloved. Everyone was crazy about it. So I think they're probably giving
really well.
Yeah, so I guess they're probably giving James Gunn more freedom, especially if they're allowing him to bring in Stallone. Like, that would be amazing.
Yeah, this all sounds really cool. I think that I would never say Guardians of the Galaxy played it safe in any way, but I think the fact that it was just experimental enough to still make a ton of money and make a bunch of people happy. Like, I went into that movie with zero expectations about any of those characters or anything, and walked out being like, that's one of my top 2 superhero movies of all time.
Yeah.
And like, it's really cool that we're getting like another Star Wars movie and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I think both of them are just going to start to get weird and dark and crazy. Like, this is awesome.
So let's back this up for a second. Back to Judge Dredd in space. It's not going to be Judge Dredd, obviously, because that's a different character. That's 2000 AD or whatever. But like, if they have just a Nova Corps drill sergeant who's just like, I am the Corps, and like, everyone's going to lose their mind. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah,
so
that's going to be awesome.
You know, he might just show up as like just a man. He might just walk by as just a regular man.
I mean, did you see him at the Oscars? Like, he looks kind of like a Marvel hero at this point. Like,
I still want a gritty reboot of the Flintstones with him as Fred Flintstone.
That's definitely not ever gonna happen.
Yabba dabba doo!
I will never. The man probably has like
funny
5 movies left.
Yeah.
You really think
one of them might be a Flintstones reboot?
The 3rd live-action Flintstones movie starring Sylvester Stallone.
So here's something cool. We obviously are a couple of just brain-damaged weirdos who have held on way too tightly to our childhoods.
Yep.
There is that Ninja Turtles show that's been going for a while. People seem to like it. Nickelodeon's TMNT or whatever. There's the new Ninja Turtles movie that's coming out soon, which looks like just all of our dumb childhood stuff. But there's always been that kind of odd generational thing where there's been like a new Turtles show.
Side note, I just really want to talk about how much I love this toy. This is Rappin' Michelangelo, and he's got a boombox.
I love this. This is like this show is like if CNN and QVC got in a fight and we're also 6 years old.
Yeah, that's. I don't think there's a better way to put it than that.
Hi, I'm Wolf Blitzer, and today we're talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, this is
Hold
just
on just 1 second. Take a look at this great
This might
toy.
be the most 90s toy ever made. But
Okay.
anyway, the new Ninja Turtles are meeting the old Ninja Turtles?
Yes, the Ninja Turtles are meeting the old Ninja Turtles. They got the original cast together. This is, of course, like the CG goofy looking show. It's on Nickelodeon. They got all the guys together. They do some, I mean, they travel dimensions. There's space dinosaurs. There's really, Ninja Turtles can kind of do whatever the hell it wants, but this feels like the most natural way to kind of collide some universes. Let's take a look at, here's what the current guys look like when they travel to the 1980s Ninja Turtles universe. And then vice versa, they make a little dimensional portal and they bring the old 80s Turtles into CG, into the future. And I love this.
This is great.
Like, I have a hard time with like CG cartoons because it just doesn't look like stuff in my childhood looked like, you know? But this is like a pretty cool compromise, especially because they got the old voice actors together. This reminds me a lot of that Simpsons Treehouse of Horror where they, here's what it looks like in action. Look at that, look at that. Come on, guys, let's go through. They're just jumping through there. But like,
so now, are they jumping through time? Because that's obviously happened
going
before.
through dimensions.
So that it still takes place in the exact same time.
Yeah.
So it's not like these guys aren't bringing
it's different.
iPhones back to an era.
It's transdimensional shuffle or something.
Okay,
like
I got it.
This episode, I think, airs on March 27th. I think it's just really endearing. I imagine there are dads who watch the show with their kids, and they're like, you know, there's a generation gap in all the Turtle stuff, but this seems like a pretty cool way to kind of like tie it together.
I'm glad you pointed out some of the ridiculous history of these characters too, because I did have that sort of like adult actually moment where I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense to have these. By the way, super weird when they blink. To have them go back in time and meet each other, or for all these turtles to meet each other, yes, it does. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I had like, first of all, like this is Rappin' Mike. This is just a
put that away.
no.
Okay,
you
fine.
You don't make them stop it. Like they've always made tons of different iterations of Ninja Turtles. They've all been ridiculous, and I love them for that. So yeah, I'm totally cool with all these characters coming together and this getting as goofy as possible. Great.
I like toys. Toys are fun time.
What's he doing to that woman? That does not look.
They're
good
hanging
from there.
out.
It does not look good from there. Look.
Okay. All right, fine. Okay. Moving on. On the subject of cartoons, Disney has revealed what the new Ducktales cartoon is going to look like, and it looks gorgeous.
Can we do it real quick? Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam.
You want to do that the entire time?
No, it's just going to get just the bass line at the beginning. It's one of the most iconic bass lines of all time.
Yeah, it's Hall & Oates, You Make My Dreams Come True.
I was conceived to that song.
Your parents conceived you to the DuckTales theme?
That's impossible. That would have been a few years off.
That's really weird. All right, so anyway, let's take a look at what the new DuckTales look like. They are gorgeous. This is wonderful. This is like...
So this is based on the old comic book style, which was really weird because my mother's European, and she used to go to Italy and bring back comic books for me, and I used to have a bunch of these weird Italian translated DuckTales comics that looked like this. So this is super cool. I have no idea how well, I mean, this is like, there's so much movement in this picture. I don't know how this is going to animate. This is sort of concept art. I don't think the art style will be exactly like this, but if it's even halfway as close, I'm so excited for this.
No, it's gorgeous. But that kind of begs the question, like, what other cool Disney cartoons should get a proper reboot? One thing that I would love to see, I don't know if this would be a cartoon reboot or not, but I think that Tailspin should make a comeback.
Yes.
We've got Jon Favreau directing the live-action Jungle Book movie. Okay, that's cool. Jungle Book's all right. Now take those realistic-ass bears and put them in some planes.
Do you really want to see that? Because I do. That
I
sounds
want to
awesome.
see like Jerry Bruckheimer's Tailspin. Like I want to see like a Top Gun movie.
Do you
also, can we point out the fact that this show is basically Uncharted but with bears?
Yeah. Do you know bears eat their cubs when they're starving in real life?
Bears, before they hibernate, they go and put stuff in their bottom and they go in a cave. Anyway, another show that I'd love to see make a comeback is, of course, Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone loves Batman. Batman hasn't gone anywhere.
That's
People
actually
still like ducks.
his Tinder photo.
Yeah, apologies for the weird resolution on these. It's amazingly hard to find clear photos of early 90s television cartoons.
All the more reason why they should be remade.
Anyway, yeah, Darkwing Duck's awesome.
Weird dude, right?
Yeah, that's one of those things I'd almost see a movie of that.
Was he part of the DuckTales cinematic universe?
Yeah, totally.
He was, right?
Launchpad McQuack would hang out with them. It was great.
so
They both hung out with Gizmo Duck.
Yep.
Weird dude. Then this is my personal one. I don't know if this is really as much your jam. I think you make fun of me for liking it sometimes.
So I think I just missed this one. You and I are a few years apart, and Disney Afternoon was a huge part of my reason to get out of school, rush home, fill up on as many snacks as humanly possible, and park my ass in front of the TV and watch goofy stuff like this. Not literally goofy, because I don't think Goof Troop will have to show it eventually.
Yeah, I left that
but
out. I don't
yeah,
like Goof Troop.
this was always really cool to me, but it was like I think I had just missed it by like a year or two.
So Gargoyles, if you never caught up on it, is an amazing cartoon. It's basically Disney's answer to Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
It's really dark. It's surprisingly mature. There's literally an episode where one of them finds a gun by accident and like shoots somebody. Great show.
That's horrible.
It's about gargoyles that live in New York. And it should totally either get a movie or a new TV show or something. Finally, less good, but still something that I have a weird problematic place for in my heart. The Mighty Ducks, the animated series.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like X-Force, but with ducks.
Now, was this part of the Ducktales cinematic
This
universe?
was like, no, I don't think so. This was later. This came out actually at the same time as the first DuckTales reboot, where they all had longer sleeves for some reason.
Right.
But this was leaning really hard into that 90s vibe, but it was also kind of at the tail end of kids actually watching after-school cartoons.
I like that you said tail end. This is super odd to me that this started off as a children's movie about a inspirational, no good dude sports team run by an alcoholic.
Yeah, this show
then became an actual sports team.
Right.
That then became a cartoon about superhero ducks.
So it was.
what?
I think they based this universe on the mascot of the Mighty Ducks, which was that cool ass hockey mask that had a duck bill on it.
Yes.
But the premise was what?
Wild Wing, according
Wild
to
Wing
Alexio.
is the name of the Ducks mascot.
Interesting.
All right.
That's a good list. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that. Let me get some real gritty duck cartoons. I think it's a good idea.
Something else from the late 80s, early 90s has come back. As you've all heard, you're probably one of the tens of millions of people who've downvoted the trailer on YouTube. But if you weren't, and if you're someone like me, you might remember that Ghostbusters, which has been a large part of my life, Ghostbusters is actually responsible for my weird, stupid addiction to collecting dumb toys. Ghostbuster toys were some of the first things I've ever purchased. These are the newer wave of them. They're gorgeous now. They look really good. They didn't always look that great. A lot of people looked at the Ghostbusters trailer and they're like, you're totally missing the point. They're not taking the subject matter seriously. I'm here to inform you that that's probably true, and I don't really think that movie's going to be good for the record. I'm going to go on record and say right now, I don't think the Ghostbusters movie is going to be that great. It's just not. It's okay. But I'm also not really that invested in it that I care enough, because I'm old enough to remember that Ghostbusters has kind of always been a little stupid. And this is especially coming from someone like me who used to buy all of the toys. So let's take a look. Let's start with some of the ghosts they used to fight. Now, the characters themselves, everyone remembers them. They came with funny squiggly line proton packs and stuff like that. But the ghosts, the enemies,
yes,
the ghost part of Ghostbusters,
these nightmares
have pretty much always been dumb. So this is Tombstone Taco Ghost. Now, they did a line of kind of guys that you'd find around town.
I would say they did a few lines before they made this.
They did. But the guys you find around town living in New York City, like the full guy in full...
This is like a Clive Barker's tortured soul. Look at that. His ass lifts up and becomes a jaw. That's so scary.
So his tongue is actually a football, and if you bend him down, like if a football player bends down in front of you like this, he's either going to toot in your face or throw a football at you, so it's never good either way.
Brian,
but what if his back tore open?
This is so scary.
Yeah,
Can we look at the other one?
Let's go. Let's keep going. Number 2, Brain Blaster Ghost, which is a toaster that shoots little panguses out.
What the heck?
What is this?
Oh,
it's a disgusting toaster oven.
They're not panguses, they're brains.
Do you know what it was like to be an 80s baby, to go to a store with your dad and be like, hey, can you buy me this? And he's like, if you mow the lawn, I'll buy you a toaster that shoots penises.
I love how they're like, yeah, man, be careful of the Chernobyl fallout in milk, but, I mean, go to the toy store and you'll just, there's
I don't know if these are his
vision
sons.
there. This
All right,
is terrible.
coming up next.
All right.
We got Terra Trash Ghost, who's just this disgusting looking garbage man. Hey everybody, I'm here for the garbage. Just kidding.
This looks like the drawings of a serial killer next to a picture of a serial killer.
So this ghost took the garbage can and put it on his head, and then a bug popped out, wings popped out, And I don't know what's going on in the front there.
I don't
It's
think we're
your
allowed to
guess.
say what's going on
No,
there.
it's not. Yeah, okay. This is Gooper Ghost Squisher, which is a torture chamber
Don't say that.
that you could put.
Don't say Gooper Ghost Squisher.
It came with ectoplasm, which is a big thing in Nickelodeon gag that got all over your parents' carpets. And you would put Egon or anybody else inside this thing and just have this disgusting slime mouth boy drool all over their heads.
I feel mildly uncomfortable just reading the words Gooper Ghost Squisher.
And it came out of its nose. By the way, this thing got lodged all up inside of its pipes, and you could never clean it out. So it always looked like it had actual pink snot inside it.
All right.
This is Wicked Wheelie. Uh-oh, who is it? It's a delivery man. Nope, just kidding. It's a guy whose intestines and internal guts came out, and also a bug. What?
Yeah.
What? And this is a toy. This is a toy I purchased with real money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next.
All right.
Mail fraud goes, hey, it's
No,
the
no, no.
mailman.
Hold on a second. Mail fraud is a serious, serious crime.
Right, that alone is scary.
Yeah.
But what
what's-
if your mailman had tits that turned into eyes?
I mean, you
How
know.
about that? And his face went into his body to reveal teeth above his crotch. Yeah, another real
don't-
toy they sold.
I don't think that's called mail fraud. I don't think that's. I think they didn't really know what they called that. All right, what else we got?
This is Super Fright features Winston. Now, they made an entire line of these sort of like weird astronaut spacemen versions of the Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters got really dumb. And this one fought the, I believe, hot dogs from Burger Time.
And then the lawn equipment from the dad's shed.
Yeah, and if you push down on his head, his body shoved into his mouth and rolled out his disgusting
which is
tongue.
actually what happens if you go to space and you don't have enough of a good spacesuit on.
Space madness.
So I like that the Ghostbusters probably shouldn't have gone to space because they would have died.
Yep. Next is Boozuka, which is what it would be like to sell a fleshlight to kids. Oh my god. What is that?
I love how before the show you were like, you think it's okay if I say a fleshlight for kids?
And I'm powering through it. I'm sorry, but this looks like a pangus trying to eat other panguses. I don't know what words we can say on the show. This is disgusting.
Can't say flashlight.
Well, I just did. This is horrible.
Sorry, flashlight.
Flashlight.
Yeah,
flashlight
a perfectly
for kids.
normal flashlight, except instead of light, it has ghosts coming out of it.
Yeah.
What a crazy novelty
Look
invention.
look how phallic
With no
all of
sexual
this looks.
connotation whatsoever.
Again, I went to my dad and said, "Dad, can I buy this?" And he was like, "I don't know what kind of son I'm raising. I really wish you were better at sports." And I'm like, "I'm not. Can I buy the penis ghosts?"
Yeah. All right. So.
And finally, if you think the new Ghostbusters movie has really sent the series down the toilet, you'd be wrong, because they used to make a literal toilet called Fearsome Flush.
yeah, but the
which,
Ghostbusters were all men.
when you rolled this thing back and forth, it revealed a mouth full of turds and eyebrows full of sharts.
Yeah,
And
but
its tongue used to flap and go, and it would slap against the inside of this turd lid. This is horrible. This is horrible. Why don't you take the subject matter serious? They said on YouTube with a fox for an avatar. You can't, because it's always been this stupid, and that's why I love it. By Brian Altano, age 7.
good job. You get a B+, and you may help yourself to a treat from the prize cabinet.
I'm also going on eBay and buying a bunch of those things for my desk so we can put them on the show and you can look at them in real life next time.
Yeah. All right. So
did it.
there is a great documentary which I haven't yet checked out. It's by Vice. It's called My Life in Monsters, and I believe it's about Phil Tippett, who is one of the guys who worked at Industrial Light and Magic and made a bunch of incredible creatures, some of which we see in front of us.
That's right.
These guys right here. I don't know if he worked on Dewbacks. I think they brought him on. Maybe he was late. I think it was mostly for Empire Strikes Back. But anyway, there's an interesting little tidbit in this interview where he discusses the time he dropped acid while working on Return of the Jedi.
But yeah, I can't say fleshlight on this show.
I don't know. Thanks, Dad. You're the best. That's our producer.
Everybody follow Zach
Higher
Ryan
ups
on
email
Twitter.
him first, and we go outside to play with our frisbee.
So
anyway,
Max, you're telling me that the monsters in Return of the Jedi were inspired by drugs? I don't believe you at all. That doesn't make any sense. Why would they ever do drugs to invent this giant turd that gnaws on pig people underneath a fat drug dealer?
okay. Anyway, he talks about his experience. It doesn't so much like it wasn't like, yeah, man, I was tripping balls the entire time I rotoscoped the lightsabers or whatever. It's like he was. I think he lived nearby. Put that down. Put that down.
What are you talking about?
Put it down. He lived nearby ILM. Like ILM, if you read the kind of the story of making Star Wars, they had kind of a weird setup. They were sort of like a frat house. They had a big water slide, and they had a big tub that they filled with cold water on hot days, and they'd all climb into a bunch of long-haired hippies, and people were always just blowing stuff up in the yard, and like
Yep.
they were kind of goofy. But anyway, Phil Tippett, I guess, dropped acid at his house. had a long conversation with his cat about life, followed his cat under the kitchen cabinet where he saw a bunch of molecules, and then he was like, hey, I'm gonna go to work. And so he walked over to the ILM studios, and he walked in, saw the giant blue screen where they did all the special effects shots, and I guess was really scared by the blue screen.
Why? Because it looked like an ocean wall?
Probably because he was on acid and he was in Industrial Light and Magic, surrounded by stuff like this, by like Dubaks and Minox and Rathtars and God knows what.
Can you pull that Dubak onto the set real quick?
Sorry.
I just want to show people how gorgeous this thing is. This is the actual toy they sold.
This is my son, Barrington.
The Star Wars monsters have always been sort of horrible and wonderful and beautiful. The new one, there's the Hapador, there's that...
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, but the ring's coming off.
Also, this thing smells like just a toxic waste dump.
It really does. It smells like someone's farted in spray paint.
Yeah, like I highly recommend everyone go out and like read some behind the scenes stuff about Star Wars because it's really funny, and it's like you go to ILM now and it's a lot of cubicles, and they got some cool special effects stuff left over, and they make some weird stuff, but in its prime it was like a bunch of like it was like rock and roll monster creators. Like they were like a bunch of like stone dudes who were like building robots and blowing up spaceships. Like that doesn't happen anymore.
No, not at all, and I miss that. Luckily, we're getting more Star Wars movies. They're going to keep putting them out. They're going to keep getting weirder and weirder. So we did get that story about how Chewbacca's origins is going to be in the new Han Solo standalone film. So I just want more weird monsters.
You know what's gonna ruin everything?
What?
If in the standalone Han Solo film, Han delivers Chewie. Like he meets like Chewbacca's mother, and then he's like, "Oh, you're giving birth," and there's like AT-ATs coming at the door or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, just cut up some sheets and boil some water."
I don't know if it's possible to puke and laugh at the same time, but that's what I'm going to do on opening night.
You forgot crying.
Thanks for watching Up at Noon. We have a couple of minutes left before we head into the next
We're going
thing.
to run down the top 4 minutes left we have in the show.
Top 4 minutes left in the show.
Number 1, this one.
This one. Number 2, the next one. Number 3, the one after that. And number 4, the final one. Food Cow, that's tasty_food_cow on Twitter says, hashtag Up at Noon, which current video game characters should cross dimensions and meet their old selves? Could Fat Paper Mario meet blocky NES Mario? That actually sort of happened in Super Mario RPG and in Super Paper Mario. There were scenes, there was like kind of little Easter eggs in those games where you see, there's one part in Super Mario RPG where the character goes behind a wall and comes out and he's 8-bit Mario for like a frame. And then when you walk through the door, it changes. But part of me always wanted to have that be the rest of the game.
I mean, that stuff sort of happens in Metal Gear Ground Zeroes. Like there was a whole flashback mission where you like were recreating scenes from the first Metal Gear, and which was like pretty heavy-handed on like tugging the nostalgia strings.
Yes. James Easterly says Jay and Silent Bob's. He says Jay and Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch looks like a fun beat 'em up. What are some of your favorite beat 'em up games? I have to say River City Ransom for sure.
River City Ransom is one of my favorite games.
We should
of
play
all
that
time.
together one of these days.
I love that game.
Yeah.
You can get nude and eat pies and get books that make you punch people.
Yeah, you go to a comic book shop and learn how to do karate. That game's awesome. It's about these 2 teenagers that have to run through this town beating up bad dudes and getting your girlfriends back. Double Dragon's another big one of mine. Damon Hatfield and I did an entire playthrough of Double Dragon 2 on PS4, which is a port of the arcade game. Super weird game, because Double Dragon 1 begins with your girlfriend getting punched. Double Dragon 2 begins with your girlfriend getting shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
They really...
The guys at the Mad Gear Gang or whoever they are, they're from Final Fight, come out and just shoot your girlfriend in the chest. And it's just like, brrr, and she disappears, and the 2 guys come out of the garage and they're like, oh, we gotta clean this up.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's just the worst.
Final Fight's another big one of mine. Really love Final Fight. They don't really make a lot of
I mean, obviously, like
anymore.
the Simpsons and Ninja Turtles arcade games are
Yep.
both fun as hell.
Yep.
Double Dragon Neon was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm legally not allowed to say that because I think I was in the Steam trailer for that or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shill.
Put on dumb hats with friends and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Creepy, that's at Mart_Taylor, says, Brian, I don't think I've ever heard you say horse without you stopping your tracks and focusing on the horse. Horses love to stop in their tracks.
Yeah, we actually have an extra 7 minutes built into every episode of the show where we get to either play with our toys or talk about horses.
Yeah.
Sometimes even both.
Sorry, honey. Bri is going to be late tonight.
Sick.
Oh, get that thing off of me. I don't want it back there. I want to be... No, stop it. Stop it. Thanks for watching Up at Noon. I'm Brian Altano. That's Max Scoville. This
Coming
is John...
up next, Miranda Sanchez and Armando Torres are going to be playing Pokken Tournament and some Pokken Tournament. They're gonna eat some Pocky. They're gonna put their hands in their pockets. All sorts of stuff coming up right next with animals that can do some weird things. Stop! No, you got that point.